Hey everyone, it's me, Miss A. I hope you guys are good. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And today we're coming live from the laptop because I just love the aesthetic of it. Like, I feel like we're in a Zoom meeting right now and we're just talking about things. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, today we're going to talk about creative energy leakages, actualizing your visions, your dreams, but understanding your flow to achieve that vision. To start us off, I'm just gonna give a very mini story time or whatever, and how I got to this point to understand how you can connect with like the way you flow as a person. There was a period in my life around this time last year where I was working for people, right? And I was doing the so-called creative stuff, jobs, content creation, graphic design, all that stuff. And on paper, these things seem like very perfect things for me to do. You know what I mean? But I just felt this like gap and this void and this emptiness and just this frustration with being in those spaces. I grew very frustrated with the fact that I was pouring a lot of creative energy into other people's things and I had nothing left for myself. It's like I'm using all this energy on other people's stuff and I'm helping other people build their visions and I have nothing left for me, because I also have my own visions, my own dreams, you get what I'm saying? Like I have my own ideas that I want to materialize and stuff like that. So yeah, after those, little side hustles or whatever, I was like, damn, I need to pour into me. Like, I really need to take that so much more seriously than I have before. Because I just thought that as long as I was doing the creative stuff, like, I would love it. But it's like, no. I started to understand that I want to birth my ideas. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want to just keep laboring for people. Coming to terms with that can be like a bit heavy at times. At least for me, it was heavy because it's like I don't know the logistics behind how I can make everything work. And I often feel like the world, it feels like to make sense in this world or whatever, you have to fit into a box. But it's like I want to explore everything. Like I want to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, and it's very hard to feel like, oh, how do I like fit somewhere? Like, how do I define that? Because I feel like even the topics I talk about, I can't really think of one word to encompass it all, So it gets very, very, very overwhelming. But this whole thing of like stressing about the logistics to things and stuff like that, it's this whole idea of thinking of how I'm gonna get from A to Z when I haven't even figured out A to B, And I feel like A to B, C, D, whatever letter is really the internal work, the underground stuff that the world doesn't see. Is the more introspective stuff, right? Because we all have beliefs about ourselves that could be supporting or hindering us or whatever. And also we have like circumstance situations, like some of us have more access to certain resources than others, and all of that stuff. But yeah, getting from A to B is about understanding your flow and who you are, right? Because one thing about being a creative person is you have a lot of mental energy, right? Or at least I do. I don't know because I've never been in anyone else's brain, so I can't really say, but I have a lot of energy. I can be up all night just thinking and thinking and thinking about something over and over and over again. And it's like because I was doing that for other people and I didn't feel appreciated, that's what was really draining. But then I also do it to myself, with stuff that I want to do. I'm just up all night just thinking, how can I do it? Let me change it, all of that stuff, right? And I used to try so hard to cut that off, like just cut the mental energy and all of that. But I'm realizing it's a part of myself and it's just a part of my signature as Miss A here on Earth, And I'm also a Life Path 5, which is ruled by Mercury. So themes relating to the mind are very prominent in my life, right? But it's like trying to fight that just brought about more friction and resistance, right? Then realizing that, maybe I actually just need to understand my flow and understand my vibration and respect it and learn to work with it. And what I've realized is that when your mind is running and running and running, it's because on an energetic level you have the desire to materialize stuff. And this is important because when I was thinking of that movement, right, I thought of two words: restlessness and momentum, right? And there's a difference between the two. On a very surface level, the energy of restlessness and momentum, they both are trying to do something, achieve something, build towards something. These are very like kinetic states of being, you get? And oftentimes like inaction will lead to restlessness, but action can create momentum, right? Restlessness is very like all over the place. It's like scatterbrained, it's moving from thing to thing, it's doing this and that, right? Momentum is a lot more streamlined. Yes, it still draws stuff and pulls stuff, but everything that it's drawing in is propelling it forward, you get? And what I've noticed is that I'm probably going to be more restless when I'm just overthinking stuff and I feel unappreciated. I feel like I just keep minimizing things and I keep on worrying about all the logical stuff to share, and it's like not everyone is super structured and strategic and linear in their way of doing things, and it's like if you can tell that you're the type of person that just is like this. I know it's so hard to put things into words, and I'm trying, guys. But I just see it visually. If like your mind is like doing all of this and that, why are you trying to fight it so hard to be like this? That's not who you are, So we have to be able to recognize spaces that put us in a state of restlessness, where when we give them our energy, it feels unappreciated. It's like, now what? That's going to make you go crazy, right? But you also have to recognize that within yourself. When are you putting yourself in a restlessness, and how can you translate that into momentum? You get what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't really have a lot of conclusions and answers to things. It's just more so like perspectives. But it's giving me that shift to know that let me just try to do what I can now and not worry about the perfection of it, because more times than not that turns restlessness into momentum than just being in my head trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. But it still works in a way where it recognizes that I am a person that I like to do things and move about and do things and stuff like that. But now like I'm approaching it differently. So yeah, I just thought I would just come in and just say that real quick. Yeah. I hate ending videos,